Hello everyone, and now welcome to game number 2 in this series. Lucifer currently down 1-0 in this best of 3 as Happy spawned on the top right hand side of the map. Alright, a little bit of unlucky breaks, but it was really difficult to follow all of that action. It really just felt like Happy was able to get a slight advantage by creeping out more aggressively. After creeping out those more difficult creep camps, got a slight hero advantage, being able to get to level 4 on your Lich, and then using those dark rituals on those skeletal minions, thereby having more mana for Frost Novas, and well, those Crypt Fiends never really stood a chance. We'll see if Happy will be able to repeat his success in game number 1 to force to end the series at 2, or if Lucifer, who is spawning on the bottom left-hand side of the map, will be able to even up the series. Now, Death Knight is already out on the field, and it looks as though he is not going for the Crypt Fiend opening, instead using a large number of ghouls and Unholy Aura. We'll see how that works out for him, as the Crypt Fiends are already doing a little bit of damage off over here. Death Knight instead gonna go ahead and clear out a rather difficult Sasquatch creep camp, and this is a play that we saw earlier by Happy. If you are able to clear out your opponent's creeps, they are going to be significantly behind. No, wait, he is not going to do that. He is just going to go straight up into his opponent's base, hoping that he doesn't have a Nerubian Tower. Nerubian Tower is currently already being trained. Death Knight is here, and wow, all of a sudden Happy realizes, wait, I need to protect all of my units. Ghouls, skeletal minions all running into position. Nerubian Tower already there, as the Death Knight of Happy does get the kill there. Meanwhile, Death Knight of Lucifer trying to clear out some things. Death Coil a little bit late right there, as you see the Death Knight now continuing to engage. Skeletal minions doing a great job trying to destroy lots and lots of acolytes. And where are all of those acolytes right now? All right, Death Coil still there. Skeletal minions continuing to attack, and it looks as though more and more could get taken down. All right, let's take a look at, there goes another acolyte once more. However, Lucifer is losing a fair amount of ghouls in this early aggression. All right, skeletal minions, are they going to be able to take down this? Happy is a microing fiend right now, moving all of these acolytes from one side to another, and I believe Happy has only lost one acolyte. He only lost one acolyte in that trade, and that was absolutely a fantastic play by Happy to hold off on that type of defense. We are looking at a 21 over 30 compared to 22 over 30. Happy is further ahead in terms of supply, but is behind in terms of tech. He also did lose a bit of mining time, but the Death Knight is sitting at level 2. Meanwhile, Lucifer's Death Knight is still sitting uncomfortably at level 1. A little bit too early to call who is currently ahead. Tech advantage versus... well, tech advantage versus economic advantage versus experience advantage. That is all very difficult. Lucifer now getting up to level 2. Meanwhile, Happy is already about 2.5, and we'll see where he will be traveling to next. Is he going to come across his opponent's army? Yes, he will. Both sides ready to do a small engagement there, and Lucifer does not want this. Meanwhile, Death Knight is just getting in some easy shots once more, trying to split the army a little bit, trying to get that Crypt Fiend, and that Crypt Fiend is just able to barely slip away. No box in at all, as Lucifer able to hold on to and protect that low hit point, or that Crypt Fiend there. All right, Death Knight now making its way back over here to the top right. Meanwhile, Happy is going to be trying to come back in and engage as well. Happy is trying to disrupt Lucifer's strategy, prevent him from doing any serious creeping at all, to try and make up for some of that tech advantage. Meanwhile, let's take a look. Halls of the Dead. We are already at Halls of the Dead. Death Knight now wandering around inside, uses some skeletal minions, and the skeletal minions will be rushing inside here to deal damage to these acolytes. All right, you can see that the skeletal minions are still backing off. Meanwhile, back here, you can see Lucifer is currently trying to clear out the 533 creep camp. Death Knight may come in with the Death Coil. Death experience goes to Happy. Death Knight is going to be severely behind right now. Happy, I do not believe, got the item. That item went to Lucifer, but Happy, now sitting at level 3 with those level 2 death coils, should be able to easily get that Crypt Fiend back up to full if necessary. All right, there's the engagement. There's the death coil ready to go at it once more. More damage being added. Death Knight now charging back down again, as Lucifer does have a Watcher ward right here to keep track of all of Happy's movements. Halls of the Dead nearing there. Meanwhile, Black Citadel just now started. Will Happy be able to make up enough of that tech advantage? All of that lost time in mining, all of that lost time. Well, what was the mining difference? 88.50 compared to 88. Wow, only about 7 seconds in what? 7 seconds? Yeah, about 7 seconds. Or is that 70 seconds? All right, I think that's about 70 seconds difference there. Meanwhile, or is it 17? All right, can't do the math right now. Death Knight still wandering around. Death Knight adding in pressure. There is that Frost Nova. Lucifer getting a little bit of that advantage, but the Death Knight has taken far too much damage. What is he doing? Down to 88 hit points. He needs to get a Death Coil off. Survives. There's a Frost Nova right there, and it looks as though it is going to get taken down. This Death Knight is absolutely playing a very dangerous game, but level 2 Death Coil compared to level 1. Level 2 Death Coil healing twice as much. That is tremendous, as the Kobold Taskmaster is going to get taken down. All right, Watcher Ward has been dropped down. Death Knight down to 16 hit points. Down to 8 hit points and is still somehow alive. Death Knight now trying to lead that charge. Lucifer trying to retreat all the way back with that Death Knight. Death Knight now down to 24 hit points. Going to turn back around. Are we going to see a Death Coil there? Wow, come on, where's the Death Coil? No Death Coil, not in time, as that one Crypt Fiend does get taken out. All right, a 400 hit point heal would have been just what the doctor ordered. Unable to do exactly that. Buys a potion of healing though, and now gets a new Rod of Necromancy. Back off to the north. Level 3, ready to go. Meanwhile, Death Knight sitting at level 2. Sorry, a 200 hit point heal. I'm sure that the Death Knight would want that if at all possible. Lich is in that front line, tanking a bit more than it would feel comfortable doing at this stage in the game. May get a Death Coil from the Death Knight, or the Death Knight may try to get to level 3 first for that level 2 Death Coil. Wand of Illusion. Death Knight now wandering around up to 125 mana. Death Knight sells. Is he going to be selling any items? Perhaps a Ring of Protection? Oh no, sells one of the Watcher, or places down a Watcher ward, picks up a Potion of Lesser Invulnerability, and sitting at 113 hit points, 2 experience shy from level 3. Back off to the north, Lich is finally joining in on the fight for Happy. Happy has the level 3 Death Knight already, and really wants to just round out the rest of his hero nuking damage with that Lich. Meanwhile, Lich is already seeing that level 2 for Lucifer. Level 3 now finally on that Death Knight. A little bit of overlap in terms of experience, at least for now, although Happy does have a slight experience lead at this stage. Or hero, overlap in hero level, but Happy with the experience lead. Obsidian Statue now joining in, both sides able to easily get into position. They are going to continue to try and clear out these creep camps. And will Lucifer get enough control? That is going to be the big question here. Death Knight now down to 214 hit points. He gets taken out. What is going to be dropped? Potion of Greater Mana. That could be given to the Death Knight as well. Very, very useful on the Death Knight, as he is going to be using a lot of Death Coils. But the Lich could also use it if it does in fact get to level 3. If both of these heroes are at level 3, the Lich might actually be better off, as you're able to nuke down more of those units. All right, 5-5-5 creep camp with 2 level 2 brigands as well. Lich is not going to have a problem clearing this out with help alongside him. Dark Ranger now being added in, as that Dark Ranger all important for that silence. Lich should get to level 3 and pick up that Tome of Intelligence +2, already up to 375 mana, as the Lich is going to get to level 3 right here. Lucifer so far on a good track. Dark Ranger sitting at level 1. Lich is sitting at level, or will get to level 3 as well. And it may come down to who engages better or more efficiently. 46 over 50 compared to 47 over 50. Lich level 3. Death Knight level 3. Dark Ranger level 1. Meanwhile, Happy is almost level 2 on the Dark Ranger and almost level 4 on that Death Knight. Dark Ranger taking a lot of damage there. Frost Nova, both sides trying to run away. Will they be able to get away? Death Knight now trying to get back here. Death Coil onto the Crypt Fiend. Death Coil onto the Crypt Fiend again. Death Knight still trying to stay alive. There goes one Crypt Fiend. Level 4 on Happy's Death Knight. Are we going to see Death Pack or Unholy Aura level 2? It looks as though it is going to be Unholy Aura level 2 or level 1 right now, as the units are now backing away once more. Death Knight down to 11 hit points, gets taken down, and Lucifer's Death Knight falls at level 3, and Happy takes the series. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed it.